Welcome back, everyone. You know how this works. We're taking a deep dive, and today it's something really monumental. We're going deep into the Bible.
Oh, yeah, the Bible. It's one of those texts that's touched so many lives. Billions, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's been translated into thousands of languages.
And it's shaped history, law, culture.
We're not going to pretend we can cover everything in this deep dive, but we do want to, unearth some of the key themes.
And maybe some of those hidden gems that people might have missed.
For sure. So, okay, first things first. I think most people know the Bible is split into two parts. We got the Old Testament and we got the New Testament.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, beyond the timeline, what really sets them apart? What makes each testament unique?
Well, think of the Old Testament as the foundation. It starts with creation, sets the scene.
Right, from the beginning.
Yeah, it tells that story of humanity's relationship with God and the establishment of the covenants.
Those sacred agreements.
Exactly. And the Old Testament is packed with stories. You've got Noah's Ark, Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt.
Oh, yeah. And David and Goliath. That's a classic.
Right? It's such a blend of history, laws, poetry. You really get a vivid picture of a people's journey.
And their evolving understanding of God.
Yeah, definitely.
And you mentioned covenants. It strikes me that a covenant, that implies a two-way relationship. What does the Bible say about humanity's responsibility in that agreement?
Ooh, that's a great question. The Old Testament, it really stresses obedience and faithfulness to that covenant.
Like sticking to the deal.
Exactly. And it doesn't shy away from showing the consequences of straying from that path.
There are some tough lessons in there.
Yeah, but it also, offers that hope for redemption and restoration. That's where the prophets come in.
Oh, right. Those figures who challenged the status quo.
Yeah, they called people back to, righteousness and justice, and their words still resonate with us today.
Absolutely. And then we did the New Testament, right? Building on that foundation that the Old Testament laid down.
That's it. The New Testament, it's all about the life, teachings, death, and resurrection of Jesus.
It's almost like a whole new chapter.
It is. It introduces a new covenant. This one's based on grace and forgiveness offered through Jesus.
Okay, so a bit of a shift.
Yeah. And it's in the New Testament that we see the early Christian church forming and their mission to spread these teachings far and wide.
And we often hear about the Bible's emphasis on faith.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something about the different literary styles in the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
You've got poetry, songs, even apocalyptic visions.
Right.
How does all that fit in?
I think it's fascinating. I mean, you've got these different genres, and they allow the Bible to connect with people on so many levels. Think about the Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
They're full of poetry and beauty. They offer comfort, reflection. And then you've got the prophets, right?
Who challenged injustice.
Exactly. They're calling for change. And even those apocalyptic visions, they can be a little scary, but they also offer this glimpse of hope.
Like good ultimately triumphing over evil.
Yes. So it's diverse, but it's all contributing to this bigger message.
So, okay, we've got all these stories, different styles. Are there some big overarching themes that connect both the Old and New Testaments?
Oh, for sure. Faith and obedience, those are huge. The idea of trusting in, a higher power and living in a way that aligns with its principles.
That comes up again and again.
Right, through both testaments, yeah. But it's not just about blind faith. I mean, look at the story of Abraham being asked to sacrifice his son.
Yeah.
It's a test of faith for sure, but it also raises all these ethical questions that people are still debating today.
When people talk about overcoming challenges, they often mention the story of David and Goliath.
Yeah, it's a popular one.
But I'm wondering, are there any stories in the Bible that are, less triumphant? Maybe even morally ambiguous? Stories that offer a different perspective?
Absolutely. I mean, the Bible doesn't just present perfect heroes. You've got characters who are flawed, situations that are complex. King David, he's a great example. He's this hero, slays Goliath.
Yeah, the underdog.
But then he makes some big mistakes. I think it shows that even those chosen by God, they're still human.
They're fallible.
Yeah, and I think those stories encourage us to think about the complexities of human nature and the consequences of our choices.
Definitely. Now, we can't talk about the Bible without touching on prophecy. It's such an intriguing element, and it really connects the two testaments.
Yeah. Prophecies in the Old Testament, they often point to this future Messiah, like a savior figure. And then in the New Testament, it presents Jesus as the fulfillment of those prophecies.
Wow, so it all ties together.
Yeah. It's like a puzzle where all the pieces from different times suddenly fit.
It's been awesome exploring this with you, all the structure, themes, even some of the challenges the Bible presents. But I think the most important question is, what does all of this mean for our listeners?
Yeah, we've gone through these big narratives, teachings. But what really speaks to you? Which stories, which characters, which teachings resonate most, and why? And that's the beauty of the Bible. It's this vast landscape for exploration and personal interpretation. There's something there for everyone.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep discovering. This deep dive is really just the beginning of your own journey with the Bible.
It is. And it's a journey that can last a lifetime.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time for another one.